customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all Sports Desk. Brewers begin a 6-game homestand tonight against the Minnesota Twins. The 3-game weekend series begins right after the 6 o'clock news right here on WTMJ with our Brewers coverage. And pitchers Aaron Ashby, DL Hall, Aaron Seville, and Brandon Woodruff are each working through rehab appearances but inching closer to joining the big league club, according to Brewers general manager Matt Arnold.
They're all progressing incredibly well, in different ways. And I would say Ashby probably at the front of that, most likely. But again, so many moving parts relative to how they're responding to all their treatments.
All right, taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. I-43 north at the ramp from Wisconsin Route 145 to Fond du Lac Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked due because of a crash. Then over on I-41 at US 45 north at the ramp from Watertown Plank Road west. The left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Then over in Delafield and I-94 east at the ramp from County C, the left shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Other than that, roads are starting to clear up across all of southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight we're going to get some scattered showers, some storms early in the evening. It will be mostly cloudy and windy for the rest of the evening with a low of 48 degrees. Tomorrow will be mostly to partly cloudy and breezy with a few sprinkles possible and a high of 63 degrees. Sunday is going to be mostly sunny but cool with a high of 62 degrees leading into Monday, which will be partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and a high of 61 degrees. And Tuesday will be cloudy with rain and storms likely with a high of 52 degrees. Right now in Madison it's 77, in Green Bay it's 75, in Waukesha it's 69, and right here in Milwaukee it's 66 degrees. I'm Sean Brinda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:07.
This is Brewers Warmup with Dominic Cotroneo. Hear lineups, manager insights, and a preview of tonight's game right now. This is Brewers Warmup. Here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
All bundled up back at home. The roof is closed, panels closed, as well as these pop-up showers continue to sprout here in Milwaukee. Brewers and Twins rivalry weekend, as Major League Baseball has a ton of traditional rivalry series happening over these next 3 days. And this one, what are we calling it? Are we calling it the Border Battle? Are we calling it the Molitor Series? Are we calling it the Fish Fry? What are we doing? We need to figure this out because there should be a name for this rivalry, which is more amongst the fans than it is about the players, given it's interleague. You don't see these guys all that often anymore. But it's Brewers, it's Twins, it's a Midwest showdown here at American Family Field. And you're facing the hottest team in baseball. Winners of 11 in a row, the Minnesota Twins, but some big news to get to with their roster. We'll get to that in just a little bit. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. I'll be with you after the game today as well for Brewers Extra Innings. We'll be talking through it all as the Brewers had the off day yesterday to return home from Cleveland in their 6-game road trip. Lost the series in both stops to Tampa and to Cleveland. No sweeps. They went 2-4 on the trip. They come into this homestand with a 21-23 record. The Twins are 24-20, and the very contested American League Central has a ton of talent at the top of it, aided, of course, by the Chicago White Sox. But the Tigers, maybe the AL's best team, they have the best record, 29-15. Then the Cleveland Guardians, who the Brewers just saw, are 25-18. Kansas City, who the Brewers have a series win over. By the way, they also have a series win over Detroit, 25-20. And now their first look at the Minnesota Twins. Remember, the Brewers will go to Minnesota next month as well as part of the rivalry series. You get one extra series against an interleague foe that is your geographic rival, and that's why the Brewers will go 3 games here against Minnesota and then later 3 games there. Previously, these were the 2-game series that were weird and tried to fit in, but this makes a little bit more sense to have a real matchup with each other. With all that being said, we do have some news in the lineup as well for the Brewers, but let's start with the pitching matchup. Joe Ryan for the Twins, he is 3-2, a 2.74 ERA. He's been fantastic so far this season. Going up against Chad Patrick, the cutter specialist. He's also been very good in his rookie year, and quite frankly, he's starting to turn some heads as far as, hey, is this a Rookie of the Year candidate? He's 2-3 with a 3.19 ERA. As far as the lineup news today for the Brewers, the big one is Jackson Chourio sliding down to the order. We'll hear from Pat Murphy on that a little bit later on here in the program. We're going to the bottom of the hour here on WTMJ, but let's go ahead and give you that starting lineup, starting with the home team, Milwaukee Brewers. Bryce Terang will lead things off. He's at second base, so back in the leadoff spot for Bryce. William Contreras will hit second now and catch. He had his first 3-hit game of the season on Wednesday. Christian Yelich still DHing, and he will be the third hitter in the order for the Crew. Rhys Hoskins will move up to bat fourth for Milwaukee. He's been the hottest hitter and maybe the most all-around hitter for the Brewers this season. Rhys is at first. Sal Frelick hit a home run on Wednesday, his second of the year. He's in right field batting fifth. And then it's Jackson Chourio hitting sixth today, the lowest he's hit in the order this season. He is still the center fielder. Jake Bowers has been one of the hottest hitters for the Crew as of late. He's in left field batting seventh. In the 8th spot, it's Caleb Durbin. He's playing third. And finally, Joey Ortiz, after a couple of days off, he is batting ninth and playing short. Once again for the Crew, Terang, Contreras, Yelich is the top third. Hoskins, Frelick, Chourio, the middle. And then finally, Bowers, Durbin, and Ortiz finish it off. For Rocco Baldelli and the Minnesota Twins, it goes like this. Trevor Larnach will lead off. He is in right field. Ryan Jeffers, the designated hitter. He'll hit second. Brooks Lee, a switch hitter, hits third, only in his second year in the show. He is the shortstop. Ty France is the first baseman batting cleanup, followed by Willie Castro in left field. A lot of switch hitters in this order. Cody Clemens, yep, his son. Cody is the second baseman. He'll bat sixth for Minnesota. Royce Lewis, he's been off to a very slow start this year, injuries related. He's at third base for the Twins. Batting eighth, it is Deshaun Kiersey Jr. in center field. And finally, rounding out the order is Christian Vasquez. He is the catcher. For the Twins, it'll be Larnach, Jeffers, Lee at the top, France, Castro, Clemens in the middle, and Lewis, Kiersey Jr., Vasquez at the bottom. The Brewers also did make a roster move today, adding Rob Zastryzny to the 40-man roster after he was acquired from the New York Yankees because he had an upward movement clause, whatever we call it these days, an out in his contract to say, if I'm not on the big league roster by this day, I'm allowed to ask for my release. And the Brewers worked out a cash trade. Could be $1, could be more. Whatever it is, he is back with the Brewers. You may recall Rob Zastryzny made a few appearances with the Crew last season, and was even an opener a handful of times. But he has not pitched in the big leagues this year. He originally started camp with the Chicago Cubs during spring training, but then shuffled his way over to the Yankees in 13 minor league appearances there. He's been a lefty specialist, 12 innings, 16 hits, 12 strikeouts, and 6 earned runs allowed for the Canadians. So the lefty is in the order. Elvis Peguero has been optioned back down to AAA Nashville. Part of the inspiration of this is because of how many lefties are in the order and on the bench for the Twins. We'll get to their news with their roster in just a moment, but catching up with Pat Murphy today before the game. The Brewers are 2 games under 500, and they're starting a 6-game homestand with the hottest team in baseball, the Twins, and then a team that's been underperforming in the Baltimore Orioles. Do you have an opportunity to feel like you're getting back on track and try to generate some momentum because the Brewers get the 6-game homestand and then 4 with the Pirates? But you can't take anybody for granted, and even when you're underachieving, you can still play better. And in his eyes, this team can certainly walk that line between underachieving and simply playing the game in a better Brewers fashion.
Yeah, I mean, we're not here to make friends with them. We're here to try to lead them and impact them. And when you go through stretches like this, you can point to a lot of things. But the bottom line is, here we are, and what are we going to do about it? I mean, are we an underachieving team? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Can we be better than this? Yes. I mean, we've been hit with a lot, and I think we can be better. But I think a lot of that assumption is due to how much they overachieved last year. You know?
I think that makes sense on the overachievement from last year, but I would disagree that they've underachieved. I think they have slightly underachieved, but it's still only May. There's still time for the Brewers to get this back on track. And one of the ways they're trying to get a guy on track is Jackson Chourio. It's been a solid start to the season, and you'll hear from Pat Murphy in a moment of the inspiration to move him down to the 6th spot. We'll also talk about these Twins roster moves as well that impacts this series as well. We're going to the bottom of the hour as the Brewers and the Twins getting ready to open up this 3-game weekend series here at American Family Field on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano from Wisconsin's Morning News. It's baseball season, which means Brewers 360 is back every day at 8:40. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Every day, all season long, we're joined exclusively by Brewers guests, including manager Pat Murphy and more. So Murphy, as we're wrapping up our interview.
Great talking. We really enjoyed it. Okay.
I was like, you did? Is he just in a good mood, or what'd y'all do to Murph?
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Springtime well underway. Baseball season's here. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash today. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports. You can combine your favorite baseball, basketball, hockey, esports, and much, much more. Download the app today and use code DOM, D-O-M, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DOM, D-O-M, to get $50 after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Give your liver the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to newnordicusa.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days, because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an Accunet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With Accunet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, "no appraisal required." That's right, Accunet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at Accunet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
Now, more of Brewers Warmup on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Lane and Josh have the call for you tonight here on WTMJ. The Brewers made a little switcheroo in their lineup today, sliding Jackson Chourio to the 6th spot in the order. And you look at his numbers in the month of May, it's been hot and cold. The good news is he's striking out far less than he did in April. He had 22 strikeouts in 26 games in April. He's got 7 strikeouts in 13 games in May. But he's still not doing damage like he did in the first month of the season. Only 4 extra base hits, just a .226 batting average, and an OPS under 600. So what gives? What needs to change for Jackson Chourio? Is it pressure? Is it his aggressiveness? Is it trying to do a little bit too much? But in the words of Pat Murphy, it's all out of love. It's all out of a chance to give him a breather and maybe observe a little bit as he slides down to the 6th spot tonight.
It's perspective, you know what I mean? Hey, Jackson, look around, man. If you're going to hit in the middle of the order, he's done great. This kid is, quote, not at his best and still, you know, putting up some pretty impressive figures, hitting balls hard, and yeah, he's doing some good things. But he's got to learn that if you're going to hit in the middle, then hit 2, 3, 4, you've got to meet the game halfway. You know, and you have a guy who can spot the baseball and just go scoot it over this much and make you swing at it every time, fly out to right. That's too simple. He's better than that, and he's got to see that. And hitting a little lower will maybe take the pressure off him a little bit.
So that's what they're going to do today, and still, you look at the lineup, there's still probably going to be guys on base ahead of him, right? And what Sal's been able to do with a 350 on base, Reese is nearly a 400 on base. What kind of opportunity will Chourio get to hit with runners in scoring position? And also, he got to sit and hit in front of Jake Bauers, who's been tremendous as of late. We broke it down in yesterday's Brewers Weekly to talk about some of the offensive performers that need to stay in the lineup, and Jake Bauers is one of them. Here in the month of May, he is 8 for 22 with 3 extra base hits. He is going to get more playing time this series. So that's a great sign to see Jake Bauers hitting the ball well, hitting the ball with authority, and they're trying to ease some of that pressure on Jackson Chourio. Now, roster moves. We talked about the Brewers one. How about the Twins? Now, they're in this 11-game winning streak because of their offense and what they've been able to do on top of how great their pitching has been. But they placed both. Carlos Correa is now on the 7-day IL with a concussion because he collided with Byron Buxton trying to field a pop-up yesterday in Baltimore. And Byron Buxton, as you just heard, is not in the starting lineup today. They don't think he's even available to pinch hit today. They do believe Harrison Bader is available to pinch hit today. In fact, I'm watching him hit batting practice right now in the Turtle. He just hit one off the Jumbotron in dead center field. He's fine. He's got a sore groin. He's doing just fine. Harrison Bader is being Harrison Bader, swinging as hard as he can. Nonetheless, they are a little thin on their bench today, given they're not having Buxton available. Correa is on the IL, and they've called up Ryan Fitzgerald to make his big league debut. He's been a lifelong AAA player. Was first drafted by the Red Sox in 2018. He's bounced around. He was acquired from the Royals and the Twins, and he's now in his first year in the Twins organization. He's 31 years old. It'd be a heck of a story for a journeyman minor leaguer to make his big league debut, whenever that is. In his career, I'm trying to pull it up here, in his minor league career, it's a lot of games, and good for him to reach the mountaintop and be active for a big league roster. On that note, though, Correa's back home. He's not even here right now with the concussion IL. They expect Buxton to be able to play tomorrow as well as Bader, but Bader's been one of the hottest hitters on their team, hitting over 400 over his last 10 games. And this offense, albeit talented and powerful, it still is susceptible to strikeouts, and Buxton included in this too, because we talk about how great their pitching staff is at inducing strikeouts and being able to keep hitters off balance. This offense will still strike out. Now, less than in years past. They're a slightly above league average strikeout rate as a club. It's a little bit higher than what it is for the Brewers, but yet you look at some of their power, it's all really come in these last 11 games. I mean, they were off to such a slow start in the beginning of the season. Their power has arrived in a big way over these last 11 games. When you pull up their team stats, this goes back to the 2nd of May, so not the entire month. Their team slugging percentage sits at 13th, which is over 400 by comparison. The Brewers are 28th at 319. So they're hitting the ball harder. League average is below 400. So they've been doing a great job of doing damage to the baseball. On top of having Joe Ryan go on the mound today, one of the nastiest sliders in the game. He gets a ton of swing and miss on not just the slider, on his four-seam fastball too. It has that carry, it has that life that we talk about all the time, about the deceptive fastballs that seem like they're jumping at you, even though it does have arm side movement on it too. I mean, he's got a freakish fastball. Opponent's only hitting 168 on his heater, and he's fastball Joe, if you will. He's got 37 Ks on the heater this year and a 40% whiff rate on his slider. Joe Ryan's a very talented right-hander out of Stanislaus State. Wow, I didn't realize he went to Stan U. That's crazy. Out in Cal State University, Rays pick back in 2018. Wow, I didn't realize he went to Stan State. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, Joe Ryan, really good, 28 years old. Chad Patrick, really good too. The cutter has been great. Granted, he fell behind a few times against the Rays, and something we talked about in that post-game show last Friday was the fact that he gave up some hits, or I should say on Saturday, he was giving up hits with 2 strikes and wasn't able to put hitters away with 2 strikes. And you look at his season, the most predominant successful pitch to use with 2 strikes, ironically, has been his four-seamer or his sinker. Combined on the season, opponents are just 3 for 30 against the four-seamer or the sinker, but yet they're hitting 234 on the cutter specifically. So trying to fall out of being a predictable pattern is going to be key for Chad Patrick today. So that leads us into our Prize Picks segment, the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Springtime is here and baseball season officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. So for now, just download the app, Prize Picks, and you can listen to our producer, Matt Yazel, give him what he thinks about today's matchup.
All right, Tom, another Friday night home game where I'm not feeling great about the matchup, to be honest. You just talked about Joe Ryan, how great he's been this year. I'm going to say he gets more than 6.5 strikeouts. And also offensively for the Twins, Trevor Larnach leading off. He's been hot lately. I'm going to say more than 3.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And you just talked, again, Ryan strikeout stuff. I'm going to say Christian Yelich has more than half a strikeout. I think he strikes out once. He struck out once in each of the last 5 games. So not a lot of Brewers positive picks, but I hope they prove me wrong.
All right, well, you've been wrong a lot, so because I know how these credits work anyway. But that's Matt Yazel's pick. You can make your own if you want to go against Matt as well. Just download the Prize Picks app today. It's super easy to use. You can even use promo code DOM. DOM, and you'll get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Code DOM, DOM, to get $50 instantly after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Take a breather, have our last segment on the other side of this break here on 620 WTMJ.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Why is Ben walking around handing out cigars?
He's celebrating the new edition. Have a cigar.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Do you have a photo?
Of course. Here.
Wait, that's the Rowan bedroom collection.
I know. Isn't it beautiful? The Rowan is one fine-looking bedroom collection. Yeah, it gets its good looks from me. Come see our new edition, the Rowan bedroom collection, with king bed, 9-drawer dresser, mirror, and 2-drawer nightstand, starting at $92.40 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Hey Milwaukee, it's Josh Albrecht here.
And I'm also Josh Albrecht. Join us every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. on 620 WTMJ for Joshin' Around Milwaukee.
We're diving into the best of what makes this city great. Local events, hidden gems, and of course, everything Milwaukee.
It's your inside look at what's happening around town, places to visit, people to meet, and stories you won't want to miss.
Catch us every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. right here on 620 WTMJ and find extended episodes and content on visitmilwaukee.org. Let's get Joshin' Around.
2 Joshes are better than 1.
Get help for your house this Saturday from Eric Brown. The president of Siding Unlimited knows his stuff. Yes, their name is Siding, but they do so much more. Windows by Pella and others, roofing, decks. That's why they are Siding Unlimited. Eric can advise you with anything about your home's exterior. Make a point to listen and call Eric this Saturday on WTMJ's Fix It Show. And remember why they are called Siding Unlimited. They are siding and much, much more. See sidingunlimited.com and you'll see.
Back to Brewers Warmup on WTMJ.
Last few minutes here. I want to get some perspective from Murph about Joey Ortiz. We've talked a lot about Joey so far this year. He got his first homer of the season on the road trip in Tampa, an opposite field shot down the right field line. It hasn't been great. A 179 batting average, 462 OPS. But when you look at his defense, he continues to provide. He's also had the last couple of games off, right? So he didn't play in Game 1 in Cleveland. He started Game 2. Then he was on the bench in Game 3, but he came off the bench and got a base hit out of it as well. So giving him a chance to get a little bit of a breather now that Andre Monasterio is here, and give him a chance to maybe start a game at short, and you can keep Durbin at third, or you can even move guys around a little bit. But maybe now there's a chance for Joey to take a breather. And in the words of Pat Murphy, he still believes in the kid and understands that he is so valuable on the other side of the baseball. It's going to be important to keep him in the lineup daily.
Perspective, sometimes that's the greatest thing, to be away from it and look in and say, look at this or look at this, and just take a blow. He's not been a full-time big leaguer till last year, and he played third. Now he's playing short, and it's just it's different. Anybody that's competed at the highest levels knows that it takes guys sometimes, and to make a position change and then to not have your offense going the way you want to, and then feeling like you're lost offensively, and then feeling that pressure that you feel from people. Sometimes you just got to kick out of it and take a day or two, and hopefully these days helped him understand that.
It's only May 16th, and it's a long season. We've all heard the cliches of what needs to go right, but the other thing is that Joey Ortiz is still going to have the majority of reps at short because, quite frankly, as the roster stands right now, not much, coming in the shortstop position specifically. I mean, we talked about Vinny Capra and how when he was DFA, all right, maybe you keep him in AAA, maybe nobody claims him. Nope, the White Sox claimed him. So anytime you think you're going to DFA somebody and try to keep them in the organization, there's always a team lurking that's, maybe he can help us. So it's never a sure thing when it comes to trying to send a guy to the minor leagues. So again, Rob Zastryzny is up for the Brewers. He was acquired from the Yankees. He is active and available today as a left-handed pitcher, given there are so many lefties in the Twins order. Then tomorrow, the Brewers will hand the ball to Tobias Myers, who would have normally been Jose Quintana. And even at the beginning of the week, we thought it could have been Brandon Woodruff. But Woody will throw a bullpen tomorrow, and then they will decide their next steps from his ankle issue with inflammation, dealing with at the end of his rehab outing. So he's still on the mend. And then furthermore, Aaron Savali, don't expect him to start this week, but the Brewers think it might be best, and this isn't official yet, to give him one more minor league start, because he only went 5 innings and 60 pitches his last time out, to make sure that let's get him stretched out before he arrives back in the big leagues from his hamstring strain. So Logan Henderson will probably make another start. Chad Patrick is obviously starting today, and Jose Quintana can't even come off the IL for another 10 days minimum. So it will have him throw over the weekend and over this homestand as well to see what the next step will be for his shoulder inflammation. That is going to do it for Brewers Warm-Up. Our producer has been Matt Yazel. I'm Dom Cotroneo. I'll see you after the game. Until then, keep on swinging.
The deeper the hole, the more damage you're going to cause, especially if you're driving around with low tire pressure.
We're talking about potholes, and if you're not careful, they'll spring up out of nowhere and bite you right in the keister.
We've fixed broken ball joints, broken control arms, blown struts, damaged